What is going on, everyone? AP over here at Rumpier Sports, bringing to you once again, like we do each and every week. We got the Strokes Gain Show. It is Super Bowl week. It's Waste Management week, but it is also Super Bowl week. And if you don't have a bet in, you should get one in. You should bet on the Chiefs because my boy Pat Mahomes is going. He's getting number 2 this week. So Snyder, let me bring you in. We don't have Locks tonight. He had a family emergency, so he was a late scratch. You guys are stuck with us, but we're going to bring the heat. We're going to bring the winners like we always do. Snyder, how was last week, man? This event was insane. Like, do we even want to talk about it? Like, it was crazy. A week ago.
Not really. I mean, the Soldiers, they battled through for the cut line again. We had our second straight 3-for-3 week on the Soldiers, so that was good. My guy Mav, he kind of quit on me there and withdrew, so that was very hurtful. It was an all right week. I really didn't play too much last week, though. I mainly played more Showdown, which is all right. I mean, I think we had some pretty good hits there. We had some good main slate hits in the Discord, too, so it was good. But now it's time to really get down to business here as we've got our first real field here, real event, I feel, of the year. So this is going to kick off like the season for us. Looking forward to this event. It's one of my favorite events of the whole year. It's basically the fans major here. A lot of good things on this course, everything with it, and looking forward to it.
You know, I got to give our boy Mike Carr a little bit of a shout out right here. I wish I would have taken my own advice a little bit more. All right, so we all know my mom, she loves playing PJ DFS. I've talked about it a lot. If you're new, my mom, she loves to play. She gambles. She does it all. She's awesome. Love you, Mom. I don't even think she watches this, but she owed me this week. I had 3 guys withdraw, and then I had 2 guys miss the cut. So I had one dude in there at the very end. It was a very hurtful week for me. I didn't go that heavy, though. I ran one build. I'm back to the MMA streets this week, though. We got an awesome event. We got studs up top. This field is absolutely stacked. It's a precursor then to the Super Bowl that we got on Sunday. So, this event is so fun. Before we get into this, Snyder, I got to ask everyone out there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. Helps us bring this to you all for free each and every week like we always do. We have premium content going on. Tomorrow, you'll see our premium show with Hoop, with Tambo. Make sure you catch that. You got to be a member, though, to catch that. Those guys do an awesome job breaking it down. But, Snyder, let me kick it right back to you. I did hear Jason say we may have Kurt pop in. I'll send him a message. Kurt, if you're watching, you want to pop in, let's get you in here, man. Let's talk some winners. But, Snyder, let's break down the course where everyone's playing this week.
Yeah, for sure. We're at TPC Scottsdale. Here's the home of the fans major in the Waste Management Phoenix Open here. 136 golfers will play, teed up here with the top 65 in ties advancing to the weekend. Golfers are going to see a par 71 here measuring 7,261 yards. The stadium course has larger than average greens here, right around 7,000 square feet on average. The Bermuda grass greens are going to be overseeded with POA and perennial rye here. They're going to be rolling at around 12 on the stint meter. 6 holes are going to have water in play here with 67 bunkers littering the property as well. The rough isn't going to be too much of a factor here, only at around 2 inches, but there is plenty of trouble lurking around the corners here. This track generally plays tougher as the event goes on, as the course bakes out, gets much firmer throughout the weekend there, so that's always fun to watch. There's plenty of risk-reward situations here as well for these golfers to take on. While hole 16 gets the most attention, with it being the party hole, with it surrounded by the stadium there, I actually like hole 17 a lot for watching the golf standpoint there. A lot of it's going to be decided here on this par 4 too. It's a drivable par 4. Water's going to be guarding it on the left side. It's going to wrap around the back side of it as well. So there's some bunkers that are strategically placed on this around this green as well. We see some big numbers here, and we see some low numbers here. There's going to be probably a couple eagles made here, and there's going to be probably a couple triples or quads here made on this hole. So it'll be interesting to watch. It's going to be a true test from tee to green here with iron shots coming from a variety of different distances here. Putting has not been that significant of a stat here. It hasn't been needed to have success here. But, I mean, you're still going to have to make putts, especially down the stretch if you want to win this event. This is a ball striker's paradise, and I will be looking forward to looking for a winning score somewhere around -17 to -19 again here. Some of the other key stats we'll be looking at: strokes gained, tee to green, off the tee, approach, par fours gained, 450 to 500, and then opportunities gained as well.
Very good breakdown, like always, Snyder. The leaderboard last year was absolutely stacked, and you guys got to remember Scotty Scheffler. This was like the start of that insane run that he went on. He won this event. I believe it was in a playoff against Patrick Cantlay. You had Koepka up on the leaderboard, Xander, Sahith, Thigala was up there, Justin Thomas was lurking, John Rahm was lurking. The one thing that stood out for me that was really surprising, like I agree with you, this is a ball striker's paradise. Scotty Scheffler won this thing while losing strokes on approach. He was fire with the putter. He was fire tee to green, and he just got it done. He's Scotty Scheffler. I think he was like 16 under. Him and Cantlay 16 under, then won in the playoff. I believe I'm working. I'm looking at the right leaderboard. But man, I'm excited. Let's get into it. And we got an absolutely loaded field. Let's go to 10K and up. Since we don't have locks on here, let's just go back to the old format. Let's talk about the golfers we like. But in each tier, Snyder, we got to list one fade that we are fading. So 10K and up, what are you doing with this range?
Yeah, I think it comes down, a lot of it's going to come down to, is it going to be Rory or is it going to be Rahm here up top? Or are you going to try and jam both of them in there? It's kind of interesting there. Last year, I played Rory over Rahm. It worked out pretty much for the most part there. I think I will continue on that same trend here. I mean, they're both clearly the top two golfers in the world right now, just on another level than everyone else playing the game right now. So, I mean, you can't go wrong going either one or trying to jam them both in there. I think I'm going to go Rory, though, just because I'm more comfortable and confident in his game as a whole. The off-the-tee game is back for him, which is a huge weapon for him. The trusty putter is back for him, too. He gained over 4 strokes putting in his last 2 events, gained over 8 strokes ball striking in his win over in Dubai to begin the year. His last 7 events, his worst finish is 4th place. So I think I'm going to be overweight on Rory and maybe with the field or underweight or fading Rahm. I haven't really made up my mind completely there. It's just how many of these guys I can jam in up top because I really do like Scotty Scheffler as well. I think we're going to see Scotty the Kid kind of get squeezed here with Rory and Rahm above him, and then you got guys like Xander, Morikawa, Cantlay below him. So I think we're going to see Scheffler probably around 10%. Maybe he creeps up to 15% as more people jump on him towards the end of the week. But I really like Scotty the Kid here. He's been pretty good recent form. It's kind of been under the radar there, but I'm going to be on Scotty the Kid here. Definitely like Xander too. I'll probably play Xander in cash, so that'll probably be the move I go there. I'll probably play like Xander and a couple 9K guys for cash, so definitely Xander. But I'm going to be fading Tony Finau here. I think his ownership's he's still getting ownership somehow. I'm seeing like right around 15% or so. So I'm just going to get off of him there. I would much rather play the guys below him or go up to like Scotty or Rory. So I think Tony Finau's only made one of his past 4 cuts here as well. So I think that's easy for me to get off of Finau here.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. You know, you talked about the 4 guys up top that we all should like. John Rahm, I mean, Rory, like these 2 are absolutely lights out right now. Scotty Scheffler, winner last year. And then you got Xander Schauffele and then Finau, kind of the like, what are you doing up there with these guys? Finau actually playing some pretty good golf. T9, T16, T7 first at the Houston Open. So, I mean, he is in good form. But, last 5 times here, he's missed the cut 4 times, and he finished second one of those other times. So, Finau does seem to be squeezed. How I see it shaking down in this range is I think it all spreads out. I think if you want to get overweight on one of these guys up top, you're going to be able to do so this week just because of the names. The pricing allows you to get whatever stud that you want. And so if you want to get overweight on Rahm, you're going to be able to do so. Rory, you're going to be able to do so. Scheffler always seems like he's the odd man out. It always seems like he is under-owned relative to all of these guys. But you got Tony Finau up there, 10.1K. I do think he's going to be the lowest owned. So who do I like in this range? I'm going. Xander is looking at me, staring me in the face. I love the history he has here. T3, T2, T16, T10, T17. He's a good ball. His game is just complete. It sets up so well for this track. So Xander, you could easily make the case because the 9K range when we get there is loaded. Also, speaking of that, I brought this comment up from our boy Jason. I was thinking Morikawa was up in this top tier range. He's not. We're going to get to this guy here pretty soon in the 9K range. That's very loaded, like I just said. On the surface, if I started my build with Xander, I mean, I'd feel pretty good about it because then I could get multiple guys down in the 9K range. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. So Xander is my favorite up here, and then it's like, man, who do you want, Rory or Rahm? I think I'm leaning to, if I'm playing 150, I'm not going to say I'm fading both of those guys. I'm going to test out. I'm going to get into SaberSim. If you're not a Saber member with us, SaberSim, a partner of ours, one of the best, the best optimizer out there. So if you're not a Saber member, you should be. And if you're not and you want to upgrade, hit me up, shoot me a DM, and I'll walk you through that process. But I'm going to play around with, can I get in line or maybe slightly under the field on Rory and Rahm, because I don't want those two to kill me. And then can I fade Finau and Scheffler and then get overweight on Xander? That's something I'm going to play around with. That's my lean right now. So my fades are Scheffler and Finau. I love Xander. And then I obviously have interest in Rory and Rahm. So that's how I see this top tier range going. But Xander is the guy that I want to start my builds with this week. Let's kick it down to the 9K range, Snyder. Again, loaded. Your boy, Morikawa. He's in this range. What are you doing with the 9K range? And specifically, everyone out there wants to know, what are you doing with Colin Morikawa?
Yeah, I've already placed a bet on Morikawa. I did miss that first line. I needed to get some action on from somebody else that had DK Sportsbook. So I messaged a guy. It was just a little bit too late to get the 25-1, but I got the 20-1. So we're in on Morikawa already at 20-1. Just one of the best ball strikers on the planet coming to a ball striker's paradise. Everybody knows my thoughts on Morikawa here. I think he gets it done this weekend. Second and a third. He's gained strokes putting in back-to-back weeks for probably the first time since I can probably remember. So if he can just putt zero or even gain a stroke or two putting here, I think his ball striking is definitely going to have him in contention come Sunday. So definitely love Morikawa. It looks like his ownership is starting to creep up there, though, which I'm not sure I really like to see, but I'm still going to be overweight on him. I'm seeing him get up to possibly 20% now, which is kind of hurtful. I mean, he's been under 10% the first two events. I was kind of hoping they were going to price him even higher to keep his ownership down, but 9.7 is a great price tag for him. Going to be on him. I like Hideki here, too. I think Hideki's another guy that kind of gets squeezed in ownership here with the guys around him. I really like what he's doing here. He's rounding into form here. Two-time previous winner at this event, finished 8th here last year. Some of the best course history around, too. This is a bad putter-friendly track as well. I mean, that's kind of held him back at times, but he's actually gained putting in 7 of his last 8 events. So I really like that. Gained 3.5 strokes putting here last year. The ball striking has been strong through the last 2 events. So I think Hideki's the guy it's going to be easy for me to get overweight on. So I really like Hideki here in this range. I mean, guys like Sung Jae Im and Tom Kim, I think they're underpriced here. I lean Tom Kim over Sung Jae if I had to pick between the two guys, but I'm going to be overweight on Tom Kim for sure. I think Tom Kim's another guy that's going to make my cash game team there. So that's pretty easily to fit him in there. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with JT or Cantlay here yet. I was kind of going to lean on you for your JT news there. You're the JT whisperer and you know when to play him. I can't ever get JT right. I played him, what was that, a couple weeks ago, and he finished like 25th, I think, or something like that. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the outing I was looking for there. So what are we doing here with JT here? I know his event history is very good here. Are we jumping back on JT this week, or what's the play there?
I know people give us a hard time for the name pronunciations that we have here, but the one I love the most is Hideki. That's what I call him too.
You gotta call him Hideki.
Yeah, so back to what I was saying about getting into the optimizer and just looking at, can I get underweight or even potentially fade Rory and Rahm? Because I think a lot of people, they have to get ownership. They just do. What does my build look like? Because I love this 9K range. I know JT he's been hurtful to me. His results, the farm are like very, very average relative to where we expect him to be. I love him this week because I think he's going to fall. I think a lot of these guys are underweight because I think if you play Rahm or Rory, you have some decisions to make. You have to make some fades down here. So in my opinion, I see a lot of these guys have winning upside. I love the Hideki call, 9.4K. I believe a past winner here. Very good history. He was a winner here, right, Snyder?
Two-time winner here.
Two-time winner. Okay, two-time winner. Big Dick Victor Hovland, 9.3K. He's gonna fly under the radar. Tom Kim, speaking of bad putters, Tom Kim, one of the best ball strikers out there, bad putter, a place that he should absolutely thrive. I find myself living in this 9K range. Tom Kim, I love. Victor Hovland, I love. Hideki, I love. Colin Morikawa, I'm on your boy this week. It's like, gosh, the putt, if he could figure out the putting, because the ball striking has been so good, coming off a second place finish and a third place finish. T25 here the last time he played it. I'm going to be on your boy this week, man. You got to love the grind that he has going on. One of the best ball strikers. And then JT as well. T8, T13, T3, third. Last 5 times he's played here, he's not finished worse than T17. So JT, I am on board. I love the 9K range. I'm going to try to get overweight on as many of these guys as I can. Our boy Max Homa is playing lights out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet. I know we got to make some fades. My lean is fade, but the guy could absolutely punish me, man. He's playing some incredible golf. The one guy I do know I'm fading down in this range is Matt Fitzpatrick. And then Sung Jae is the other guy that I'm leaning on fading. Sung Jae he always seems to get ownership. So I'm going to play Hovland. I'm going to play Tom Kim. I'm going to play Hideki, those guys, and I'm going to make a fade to fade Sung Jae. So my favorite play, though, Snyder, I got to go with my boy JT. I'm feeling good about the Chiefs this week. That means I'm going all in on my plays. My guys, it's going to be good mojo all week long. JT, one of my guys, he's going to get there. He's going to finish T5 for us. He's going to help us get, bring home all the money this week, and then the Chiefs are going to get it done on Sunday. So JT is my favorite in this range, and then my favorite fade is Sung Jae if we're looking at ownership. Did you give like an overall favorite play from this 9K range?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Morikawa for sure, just because I'm so invested in him already. And I think I'm going to be off. I think I'm going to be off Fitzpatrick as well with you. I don't know if I'm going to play Hovland or not. I usually don't play him that much. And then Homa. I just can't play Homa at that price tag. He opened at 16-1 in the books, and he's quickly descended pretty rapidly. I think he's right around like 25-1 now. I just can't play Homa over guys like JT, Morikawa, Cantlay. I know Homa's a stud and all, but we're outside of California. I know his game has definitely transcended so good over the last year. It's just a tough spot. Homa could definitely wax me here, but I just can't play all of these guys. So I'm gonna have to cut Homa out, and I'm probably gonna have to cut Fitzpatrick out there as well with you. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with Sung Jae yet, but Sung Jae or Hovland, I'm not going to play one of those two either for sure. Yeah,
very good. Harry, I love you, man. You're the absolute GOAT. Appreciate you watching every single week when you do. JT, he hasn't looked good. I agree with you. I hope that keeps ownership down. I think this is a place that he knows really well. I see all the videos. He's grinding, putting in time on the range. JT's going to get it right. I want to get on him when he's very low owned, and I think he just has to fall under like the field this week. Look at all the names that we have in this range. They all can't be very high owned. So like I see a lot of these guys falling in like the 10 to maybe 13% range. And that's where I'm going to get like 20, I'm going to get like 30 to 45%, get 3 to 5 times the field on them. So that's my reasoning on JT. But Harry, hopefully JT turns it around for us this week, because I'm with you, man. He hasn't been good, but I'm feeling him this week. I think he will be good. Snyder, let's get down to the 8K range. What are you doing with these golfers down here? And remember, we got to list one fade as well.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that I really like down here. I'm not going to probably get too much ownership on these 8K guys, just because I love so many of the guys above them in the 9 and 10K ranges. But I definitely do like Taylor Montgomery here. I've been on him since he came off the Korn Ferry Tour. I love the price tag here as well, 8.3K. Last event was his worst graded putting performance of his career, I believe. And I want to continue to target him on this West Coast swing. He's a West Coast guy, strong off the tee game, has a great short game as well. I think he could do really well here at this course. So I'm going to be overweight on Taylor Montgomery. Doesn't look like he's going to be too heavily owned either. I'm seeing at right around 10 to 13% again, like that same range. So I really like that. Cameron Young's another guy, 8.9K. I'd rather play Cameron Young over like a Fitzpatrick, over like a Sung J M as well. So I really like Cameron Young here. He's a beast off the tee. I think he should. I wouldn't be surprised if I would have saw him in that 9K range. I think he could have made a case for that. Comes off a second place finish there overseas, where he gained over 15 strokes total. Finished 26th in his first trip here last year. I think he's a guy to watch out for on the weekend here. We've seen him contend in these big-time fields before, so I like Cameron Young. And I think that's about the two guys. Maybe I could get to Sam Burns, maybe. I think I'm going to be off Theegala, though. I think that's the guy I'm going to have to cut here and make a fade here. It looks like Theegala is going to see some ownership, too. Maybe somewhere around 15% or so I could see him getting up to. I just have to make some cuts here. I'm going to be off of him. I would rather play the guys in the 7K range below him that I think have just as much upside as Theegala. I know Theegala is coming off a really good performance there, a 4th place finish, and then he had that 3rd place finish here last year where he kind of faded on Sunday. But I think I'm just going to have to be off of him this week. I think he's going to see some ownership, and I'd rather play the guys below him in the 7K range.
Yeah, the 8K range, just kind of on the surface, kind of a range that I think a lot of people are going to fade. Like if you want to load up on these guys that we just talked about in the 9K range, and obviously the studs in the 10K and up range, it's going to leave you very little to work with down in this range. I agree with you. Cam Young, he does look pretty intriguing. I'm grouping him up in that 9K range. He's a guy I like. The ball striking is very good. The putter is what's been letting him down. You've obviously, said that putting is not something that needs to be like a focal point here. Bad putters can do very well. Obviously, Hideki, 2-time winner. But obviously good putters can do well too. But Cam Young, he's just another guy that can just rattle off birdies too. Ranks 5th in the field when it comes to scoring, making birdies. So can bomb it too. And if he can bring the ball striking, I think it sets up very well for him. Then I'm making a ton of cuts. Jordan Spieth, fade. Sam Burns, fade. Theegala, fade. Tyrell Hatton, or fade. Montgomery, I'm off. I'm off Montgomery. Shane Lowry, I'm fading. Fleetwood, I'm fading. Then it comes to Ricky Fowler. Now, Snyder, you're going to scold me for this one. I am on Ricky this week. 8K, I know, too expensive. So many things that we could talk about as far as Ricky Fowler. Here's the thing, though. I like how he's playing right now. He's actually been playing pretty good, and this is a place he's won here. He's always seemed to play pretty well here. Kind of thrives off of the crowds. Coming off 2 missed cuts, though. I think he gets it going, man. I like where his game's at. I know I'm probably going to get made fun of for this call, but at 8K, I just can't see how he's that high owned. So I think he's an awesome tournament play. I think he keeps the good game going. I mean, T11 at the Farmers, I think he improves on that. I think he posts a top 10 this week. So Ricky Fowler is a guy that I'm on. So again, I got 2 guys I like in this range, and then I'm fading everyone else. Ricky Flower, Cam Young. Those are the two. Fading everyone else.
Yeah,
Who was your overall?
I don't mind that Flower call. I actually like his price. I'd rather play him at 8K versus like a 7.5 or something because I think he'd see a lot more ownership down there. He's definitely. It looks like Butch is putting in. Him and Butch are putting in a lot of work there. His game does look better than we've seen in years. So I can make the case to get some Flower there if he's going to be around 10% ownership. He's got great course history here. He won this event back in 2019.
No, 10%? No, he's not. I think like 5 to 7. No way. I will take under 10%.
I'm looking at a couple of places out there that have him right at 10%.
Jason Day, I could see being 10%, but not Ricky Fowler.
They're both right at 10%. Yeah.
Whew. Well, I have them at like 5 to 7. So unless I'm seeing something wrong, like everyone seems overowned. Like you can't. Like I think this always happens. Like I'm showing 18 to 22% for Rahm, for Rory. Like I'm showing Scotty. Like all of these guys can't be that high owned. Like it has to spread out. So I think Ricky falls under 10%, but we'll see. We will definitely see. Jason Day, though, is interesting. And speaking of Jason Day, let's just keep this going. 7K range, absolutely loaded. It's a big range, too. Snyder, what are you doing with the 7K guys?
Yeah, there's quite a few guys I like here. I'm going to leave a couple of these guys for my Snyder Soldier segment that'll be coming out later tonight. But I definitely like I'm going to go with Brendan Steele as my first guy here. I really like how Steele is rounding back into form here on this West Coast swing. He's gone 48th, 32nd, and then 20th in his last 3 starts to begin 2023. The ball striking numbers have been great. The short game hasn't been the best as of late, but I mean, like I said, the putting isn't huge here, so I think Brendan Steele is a great guy here. Course history is great here. 8 of his last 11 trips have been inside the top 30 here. I think he's a guy that comes in right around 5% or less, so I like Brendan Steele. Brian Harmon is another guy I think is underpriced here. I think his ownership's going to get steamed up higher than it is. I'm seeing like right around like 7 to 10% now, but I expect him to get up like 15% or more by the weekend. I think it's rightfully so, though. I mean, he's a guy I think you could see him in that 8K range here. I think he's underpriced too much. He finished 2022 playing some of the best golf of his career. He's made 8 of 9 cuts here, finished 15th here last year as well. So I think Brian Harmon is a great option. KH Lee, Mr. TPC Lee is a guy I will be overweight on this week as well. I think we see him somewhere around maybe 10% or so as well. Finished second here in 2021. Only finished 38th last year, but that was mainly due to one of his worst approach days of his career, I think, as well. He lost over 5 strokes approach last year here. Still finished inside the top 40. I think he's a pretty good guy here. He finished top 10 at the TOC, was 28th at the Sony. So I really like TPC Lee here. And another one of my guys that I was on, I think last year or 2 years ago, coming off the Korn Ferry Tour, was Taylor Moore, was one of my flag plant guys off the Korn Ferry. 7K flat for him this week. He's coming off back-to-back top 15 finishes at the Farmers, then at Pebble. His tee to green numbers have been better in each of his 3 events this year as well, too. So I really like to see that coming into this event where tee to green is so much needed here. I think he's going to be somewhere around 5% somehow. So I'm going to be well overweight on Taylor Moore at 7K flat as well. And I think the guy I'm fading in this range could hurt me here, but it looks like Keegan Bradley is going to be one of the highest owned guys in this 7K range. So I think I'm going to be off of him. I know he's coming off that second place finish at the Farmer, but that was mainly due to one of those outlier putting performances we've seen from him at times. I think he gained like 7 strokes or something putting, or something absurd like that. But he's lost strokes putting in his last 9 trips to this event. Hasn't finished inside the top 20 in the last 7 years here. So I'm going to be off of Keegan Bradley this week.
Man, I'm really wondering if, is this going to be the year where these dusty dudes just, rack up wins? We saw with Justin Rose last week. Obviously, things kind of, went into his favor and everything. But you have a lot of guys that I think are just live. Like Jason Day is playing really well. Our boy Locks can't be on here. You know, he was on him early at the Amex T18, followed it up with the T7 at the Farmers. I mean, Jason Day checks a ton of boxes, right up there with Ricky Fowler. So I like Jason Day. Siwoo Kim, he obviously won the Sony ball striker. I mean, he ranks 11th in ball striking, 3rd on approach. Not a good putter, but the putting is trending in the right direction. Siwoo, I think, is really interesting. Alex Noren, not the best ball striker, but this guy's a putting machine. He's playing good golf right now. He's more of like a sprinkle guy. Like, I don't think that it's going to take much to get overweight on him. So Alex Noren, I have a little bit of interest in. One funny thing, just kind of going through this list, I wrote that whole tweet up about Aaron Wise, how this was going to be a good year for him. I don't know, man. Maybe it burns me for not getting on him here, but God, this guy he's so frustrating. I think he'll get it right. I just don't know if this is the track to play him on. Cut last year. His best finish is a 66th place. We all know I'm a course history guy, so I can't go to Aaron Wise, even though like I like the guy's upside. I wish I could go back and delete that tweet I had. Cage Lee, I'm on him with you. Tom Hogue, I kind of like him. Keith Mitchell, I think is really interesting. I love your Brian Harmon call. JT Poston, I mean, this dude continues to get it done for us. 3 T21s in a row, then a T6 at the Amex 7,300. He's made 4 cuts here. His worst finish is T37 back in 2020. JT Poston seems like a phenomenal play. Chris Kirky, my guy, he seems like a phenomenal play in this range too. Just a good ball striker in great form, coming off 2 top 5 finishes. Chris Kirk should this guy, 7,300 seems like a really nice discount. So, like, here's what I found myself doing in this range. There's these plays that I like, and I think I am going to be eating a little bit of chalk in this range. But then I'm just going to X out a ton of guys like Gary Woodland. I'm not playing him. Denny McCarthy, I'll play him on a putters type of track. Wyndham Clark, been kind of hurtful. Made 5 cuts in a row, but I'm not going to get there. Higo, I mean, this dude, he's been playing a little bit better, but I can't get there. So, like, there's a lot of cuts that I'm going to make, and then I'm going to have a pretty tight pool down in this range, and I'm just going to see where things fall. Corey Connors, like, I just don't know if I'm going to get there. Good ball striker, and if you're on him, like, don't let me talk you off him. I think he's a fine play. I just don't think I'm going to get there either. So, looking through this, my favorite play in this range, man, it's got to be Poston or Kirk. I'm just going to lean on how they're playing right now. The ball striking looks good. The putter looks good. Relative to their price, like everything, they're checking a lot of boxes. So I'm going to lean on those 2 down in this range. What about you? Did you have a favorite 1 or 2 in the 7K range?
Yeah, I think my favorite guy in this range is probably going to be like Brian Harmon or maybe like a killer Keith Mitchell or something. I really like those 2. I think they have pretty good upside for that at that price tag there. Both of them finished top 15 at this event last year. It'll be interesting to see. It looks like Tom Hoagie's going to get some ownership too right there as well. I mean, there's just a ton of good options here. You got guys like Taylor Penrith and Chris Kirky right there too. JT Poston is a guy I figured was going to get a lot more ownership, but doesn't look like he's going to be that overly popular here. Corey Connors is there too. I mean, there's just so many options down here that I like, but I think Brian Harmon is going to be number 1 for me here.
I like it. If you want a cut maker, you could go Adam Hadwin. He hasn't shown that much upside lately, but the guy has been such a good cut maker. I guess he has a T7 at the Houston Open, but the ball striking looks good and everything. And then Joel Damon, I think, too. T41 at Pebble Beach, but I think we can cry. Like, outside of that, he was in really good form. So there are a lot of good plays, but also I think there are a lot of good cuts that you can make down.
I think I'm going to fade Andrew Putnam as well. It's kind of a guy I've been on recently. He's been a super good, consistent cut maker, but his game's kind of trending down. And you look at his course history, he's missed 3 of the last 4 cuts here. So hopefully people kind of just see the cuts made on the DraftKings or whatever and click his name. I'm going to be off of him this week, though, I think.
Yeah, and then Harris English too. I mean, it's a name down here, but we can't play him. This guy, his game's kind of broken right now. He'll get it back eventually, but I don't think you're going to do that at the Stadium Core. So with all these people around, let's keep it going though, Snyder. 6K range. What are you doing down in the 6K range?
Yeah, there's some interesting guys down here for sure. First guy I'm going to start off with here is Johnny Vegas here, 6.7K, solid price tag. Coming off that top 25 at the Farmers, has made his last three cuts here, including a top 10 here last year. Gained over 9 strokes tee to green here last year. He's coming back from that injury. He barely missed the cut in his first event back, and then went T25 last week at his last event at the Farmers there. Looking at him, Richie Warniski is like a full punt if you want to go, a 6.1K. Hoops guy, he came alive last week with a top 20. The ball striking was on point there. His ball striking numbers have actually gotten better in every event this year. He did finish 22nd here 22nd here in 2021, and then made the cut here in 2019 as well. So I think Richie is interesting. Sam Ryder's another guy that kind of popped in his last event for a top 5 at the Farmers, and he's actually 4 for 4 in cuts made here at 6.8K. So I like him. I like Mark Hubbard at 6.3K. He finished top 20 in his last event there at Pebble last week. Has a couple good outings here, a 9th in 2020 and a 30th in 2021. He was a really good consistent cut maker throughout the summer last year too. So I really like Mark Hubbard for another cheapie there. If you're looking for like a million maker punt play, maybe you look at Ches Reavie at 6.4K. He does have a couple of top 5s at this event, but it was a few years ago. He's a guy that could maybe pop. Brandon Wu was second last week. If he can carry that over, maybe he looks good here. Adam Shanks, another guy I'm looking at. And then our guy Peter Malnetti has always been kind of a staple of RPS over the last year or so. Finished 20th at the Farmers, and then last week got that top 5 at the Pebble. So those are some interesting options. I really don't have too many fades here. Maybe the guy I think I would fade if he does. It looks like Hayden Buckley is going to get some ownership. If he gets steamed up, somewhere in that 7 to 10% range, I think I would definitely be off of him if his ownership gets that high.
Yeah, I mean, this range is pretty tough. Scott Stallings, he's been playing some good golf right now. T15 at the AT&T Pebble, and 4 or 5 of his last cuts, and he's made 3 of 5 cuts here. T21 last year. I kind of like Scott Stallings. We're going to need some anchors down here. I don't want to get carried away in the 6K range. I think I'm going to actually set a rule, 1 6K player max per lineup, because I don't like I don't want to go like Rory Rahm builds. I want to pick one of those guys, or that's kind of what I was talking about. Like if I fade that top tier range, maybe it allows me to not have to play, a 6K guy down here. And if I do have to play a 6K guy, I want to set a rule, 1 max. I'm pretty confident in that rule right now, just looking at the options down here. Scott Stallings, I think, is fine. Sam Ryder, a guy that I had clicked T4, coming off a T4 at the Farmers. The putter's been really hot. If he can keep the ball striking there, his approach game has been really good. And then ride a hot putter with Sam Ryder. I think he'll treat us really well. Kevin Kisner, man, so many just fringe plays down here. I think one other thing I'm going to do is just auto fade anyone that's projected to be chalk. So Hayden Buckley, I'm going to fade him. There was another guy too. I think you actually mentioned him, Snyder. It looked like he was getting some ownership. Whoever that was, I'm going to fade him too. I'm sure I'll get to
Buckley?
him. Yeah, Buckley. Oh, is that the guy that you're talking about?
That's the guy I think that could get steamed up to like 7 to 10%, and I would be off.
Yeah, I'm showing like 8 to 10. So any guy that's going to be 8 to 10, I'm going to be off down in this range. That goes for like Callum Tarrant too. I'm not gonna play him. So I find myself making a ton of cuts down here. Just going down. Lanto Griffin, man, I can't get there. We like him on the West Coast. We're kind of transitioning now. Scott Piercy, I think I'm going to go back to him. So I think we were both high on him last week. Obviously, it wasn't his week. I kind of want to go back. I think the price tag is fine, but still, I don't want to go like that crazy on him. And that's just one of my reasons for wanting to be under on this range. I think Mark Hubbard is a fine punt too. 4 cuts in a row made here. So like I can get behind that coming off a T20 at AT&T Pebble. He's always been a good ball striker. Comes down to, can he make putts? 6,300 I think is a fine price tag. Outside of that, man, I think it's pretty thin down in the 6K range, which just goes back to like one of the reasons why I'm probably going to be under on Rory and Rahm. It's just a function of, can I make multiple 9K guys, mix in maybe, like a Ricky or Jason Day, and finish my build out in the 7K range. That's what I'm going to be playing with this week. That's what feels right to me. And we'll see. Obviously, things could change. A lot of content to digest. I just am not feeling the 6K range outside of Sam Ryder, Stallings, a little bit of interest in Kevin Kisner. I don't love it, though, at all. So did you have like a favorite overall play down in the 6K range?
I think I'm gonna go Johnny Vegas is my favorite here at 6.7K.
Do you think he's gonna get steamed up? That's the other one I'm a little concerned about. Just because,
I could possibly see him looking at his ownership now. I don't see too much.
What about your boy Aaron Rye? Can you get on board with two glove Rye?
I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much ownership for Vegas. Maybe like 5% I'm seeing, but yeah, I'm not sure I can get on Mr. Two Gloves. Possibly. I mean, I'll have to look into him a little more, but.
Matthew Neesmith is like the other name that I could see getting steamed up. He checks a lot of like ball striking boxes, but T55, 3 missed cuts, T53, the guy's not playing that good right now. So it kind of doesn't align with what the stats are showing. So I can't get there. I feel pretty good about being under on the 6K range.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of flew through this. I guess that's how it goes with the 2-man booth. Let's get to our winners, then we'll do final thoughts. Let's do 2. Who do we think is going to win, where we don't care about the odds, and then a longer shot. Let's start with you, Snyder.
Yeah, I've got to go with the guy I've already placed a bet on. I got him at 20-1. He's now 16-1 on DraftKings. I'm going to go with my guy, Colin Morikawa. Hopefully he can get it done this weekend. Finally close one out. Let's see what happens there. And then for like a longer shot, I'm going to come down the board a little bit. Let's look at let's go with Keith Mitchell at 65-1. I think he's got what it takes to contend and possibly be there come Sunday there. I'll leave Mr. Flower there for you if you want at 65-1.
Sorry, you can hear me, right? Something happened with my mic. I think I got it back.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got to bring out the what do they call it? The double skiers, the double, because I got to go with my boy Justin Thomas. So me and Snyder are doing this on the show. We're both picking our boys. 22-1 feels like a great price on Justin Thomas. I know. I'm a homer. It is what it is. He just checked so many boxes here. I love the price tag on him. And then we got to go to who was your long shot? Right when you're going over that, my earbuds disconnect.
I went with Keith Mitchell at 65-1.
Gotcha. I was gonna say my guy is also 65-1. Ricky Fowler. He's won here. I mean, the guy's playing good. He's won here. All right. So I do wish like the price doesn't feel that good. 65-1 on it. With how he's been over the past few years, it should be like 100-1 in this field because it's so good. So like from a betting standpoint, I don't think we're getting that good of odds on him, but how I see it, it just makes him that much better of a DFS play. So I like Ricky here. I think 65-1 isn't the best odds in my opinion. Like for him, I wish it was higher, maybe 80-1, 85-1, but I don't know. I like Ricky this week. Obviously has a lot of good history here. So I'm going JT and Ricky, Flower, Snyder. Final thoughts this week.
Yeah, looking forward to this first big event here. I'm going to be MMEing this week as well. Looking forward to it. And then Showdown. We're going to have all the Showdown content over on runpuresports.com. We're going to have the Showdown shows. Round 2, round 3, and round 4. Round 2 and 3 will be on the Mayo Media Network. And then the final round show will be on the Run Pure Sports Network. All the playbooks and core plays will be up on the website there under the Showdown section. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Pretty much that's going to do it for me. Hopefully my guy can finish one out for first time this year. And use that promo code Snyder15 also if you want 15% off your first month or weekly package here. That includes SaberSim. Like AP said, is the top optimizer in the business, and they made some huge improvements to their PGA models as well.
Do you think a lot of these guys are just playing this thing, then going to the big game afterwards? I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah.
That would be the best. That would be the best setup ever. Win this thing and then head on over to the game. I mean, yeah, that would be the ideal scenario right there. My final thoughts are: this event is awesome, loaded field. I'm back to my regular volume this week. Going to be multi-entering. The heat map, you'll know exactly where I'm at, my exposures and everything. It's color coded in the heat map. That'll be up tomorrow. I'm pumped, man. Always one of my favorite. Obviously, even more excited for the Super Bowl on Sunday. But I'm telling you, you want golf action this week. You want something to sweat early in the day when we're getting closer to the big game starting. So you take in those winners. And then we get the game starts, and we get more winners. So it turns out to be like the best day ever. So that's where I'm at this week. It's going to be a ton of fun. Hopefully our guys get it done for us. But, man, I'm just excited that we're kind of past some of these bad events moving forward. We have phenomenal golf events coming up. So a lot of good to look forward to. Again, tomorrow the premium show goes. Hoop and Tambo will be breaking that down. Make sure to catch that show. You got to be a member to get on that show. Snyder, you got a promo code, Snyder15. Use that if you're not a member. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps us out a lot. With that, Snyder, let's run Pier and get us out of here.